Hello, this is Pat Harold from the Chromix Tech Support Department with another installment of our Tips and Tricks for ColorThink. Tips and tricks in 2 minutes or less. This one I call Linearization Optimization. If you work with a RIP, you are probably familiar with how to linearize it. Sometimes it's nice to have confirmation that the ink limiting and linearization is properly done. And for some people, they're working with an unusual RIP, or they might have an unusual printing process, or you might be an ink manufacturer that wants to know the optimum saturation of your ink. You probably have a linearization target that's a lot like this, with cyan, magenta, yellow, black ramps of color in percentage increments from 0 up to 100%. The idea is to find out what is the optimum point for each of these inks. So bring your CGAT style measurement file into ColorThink Pro. It'll open automatically into the worksheet. Go ahead and graph the color list. This is what those 4 separate ramps look like when graphed in 3D lab space. Turn off tone using L-star so the points show up nice and bright. Click and drag the grapher to bring things around. Zoom in and align things with the Alt key and the Shift key. Now, as I look closely at the cyan ramp, we see that as more ink is laid down, it gets to a certain point where instead of adding more saturation, it's actually curving in on itself. The 100% cyan patch is actually less saturated than some of these points in the middle. The reference information in the measurement file shows what percentage of ink was called for in the cyan ramp, and then the lab values on the right show what was actually measured. I moved the windows around so I can see both the worksheet and the grapher at the same time. And as I click down the rows in the worksheet, a white crosshair shows up on the ramp in the grapher. You can see exactly what points you're dealing with at the same time. So when you've found the point where you think your ink is doing its best, most efficient job, you just check where you are in the worksheet, and that becomes your optimum ink limit for cyan. You can do the same with the other inks in your linearization target. But I have a special added bonus. You can also do a lot of this within the worksheet itself. Besides lab, you can also choose other flavors, and I'm going to choose LCH, which gives you luminance, chroma, and hue. So we can go down the list and look for the highest chroma values. Those will represent the points that are furthest from the neutral center of the gamut. There you have it, a visual assessment and quantifiable values at the same time. Please feel free to contact Chromix with your ideas for what you do with ColorThink so we can expand our tips and tricks. And maybe your idea will be on the next Tips and Tricks with ColorThink.